Hello everybody and welcome back to Sunshine Islands. I am back on the 24th of fall. It's the following day from the last recording, and it just so happens that we are in a really great spot to line up a couple of heart events. It's going to rain tomorrow, so we can trigger Witch Princess's next event if we visit her. And this evening, if I go on over to the cafe, I will also be able to see Lana's Blue Heart event. In between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. on a nice sunny day, you can see her event. And you can also see it on a rainy day as well, but I can't quite remember the times for it. Hey Lana, why'd you quit being a pop star? I didn't quit. I'm just taking a break right now. Well, why are you taking a break then? I mean, it seems like you've got it all. Well, to be honest, I was really popular at first. My first single sold really well. It was even the theme song of a movie, but my next singles didn't sell well at all. And suddenly, I was no longer a star. I just don't get it. I tried so hard. I'm sorry for bringing this up, Lana. It must be hard for you to talk about. Well, we don't want to make her feel worse. Why don't we just try and encourage her? Maybe she can make a comeback. Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll just try even harder, work on my singing, and then I'll show everyone a new and improved Lana. That's the spirit. I was about to give up on my dream. Thanks for your support. Well, you're very welcome. I'm feeling really motivated now. If you actually take the time to talk to Lana and you don't just hammer through her dialogue like I do, she does mention quite a few times that, yes, she was a pop star, she's taking a break from her career, and she's just kind of come to this island for a vacation and just to sort of figure out what she wants to do with her life. I've also gotten to the point with Isaac, one of our miners, where I can start giving him gifts. Now, I do have some gems that he would really like in my cabinet at home that I've been saving, but I just had my flowers on hand, and so that's what I've been giving to him. I'm not so worried about Isaac, or not Isaac, Slater, the other miner with the blue helmet, currently at the moment. I find Isaac a lot easier to find because I can always find him at home later on in the evening. You can see here that I've got 3 emeralds and 4 rubies, and those should work for both characters, actually, both mining characters, when I get around to befriending them, which will also equal a couple of more sunstones as well. So now we're going to go out into this very, very rainy day, and we're going to go and speak to Witch Princess. I do believe that I have a couple of hours to talk to her at home. I think it's in between the hours of 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. You can trigger any of her events, but I figured I'll just go right now and get it over with. The heart events were kind of the main focus of this video, so I want to make sure I get them. Oh, Nick. You don't have to be so nervous. I already showed that brat what's up today. I was gonna make a potion, but I just can't decide what kind. I've made so many, it's hard to find a new one to try out. Let's see, the most interesting one was... oh yes, that one. The potion that turns you pink all over, that one was fun. Please, tell me more. It's not every day you see a person pink from head to toe. It was so funny. Oh, I've got an idea. This time, I'll make a potion that turns a person mulberry all over. I should get started right away. Thanks for the idea. I mean, I didn't really give you the idea, but you're welcome. Have fun, knock yourself out. What even is mulberry? What kind of color is that? I have absolutely no idea. I think her and Natalie would be really good friends because they kind of like to play pranks on people. They're a little bit mischievous. The other thing I like about rain is that you tend to find more foraged items on the ground. There tends to be more bamboo shoots or blueberries or chestnuts or whatever the case may be, as well as flowers. I do tend to find more of that stuff when it rains, which is really nice, especially right now because I'm using flowers as a gift, whereas sometimes I don't actually use them and I just kind of stockpile them in my inventory. They've been useful for giving gifts to Natalie now that I run out of blueberries. And then of course we were giving them to Isaac as well. I came in here to give Natalie a gift and she disappeared on me. I don't actually know where she's gone to. So I'll go out and give my gifts today. And then I guess what I could do is I can go and buy the kitchen from Chen. We wanted to buy it the other day, but we weren't able to because it was a Friday. And of course Chen is not open on Fridays. So we sort of missed out on that. But I've got a pretty good chunk of cash in my pocket currently. I have a whole slew of carrots that I can ship that I saw were ripe on my farm as we started the day out. So if I spend a little bit of money today, I should be able to make some of that back. And the kitchen was a long-awaited upgrade. I've been talking about it for probably a season and a half, and of course I was looking for it in the wrong place too. And Lana has a green heart. That must have just happened because when I gave her her gift yesterday, I didn't notice much of a difference, but she did have the green heart in her heart event as well. I noticed, so as we just finished triggering her blue heart event, and now we can move on to her green one already. Oh wow, yeah, I found lots of flowers too. That's great. I've only got a couple more days left in fall, so any extra additional flowers that I can get would be great. I'm a little too lazy to track Natalie down. She's all the way over on Meadow Island, so I think I'll skip her gift for today. Unless I go back out after this recording is over and I catch up on a couple more things. But missing a gift for one day is certainly not the end of the world. I haven't really been cleaning up my inventory as much. because I have so much space, and I don't think my inventory has gotten full since I bought that rucksack upgrade, which is lovely. Not having to do as much management. It's really, really nice. So let's go ahead and spend the $4,000 and buy our kitchen. Now I will go back to my house and we can sort of briefly go over a little bit of a cooking tutorial. So you can see that the kitchen's here in the bottom right hand corner of the house. It's just a cute little thing. It does the trick. I mean, it has a sink and your 3 countertops. Nothing fancy, but that's okay. So we have instructions on how to cook and how to get new recipes. I've already gone over getting new recipes. You get them from either the cafe or the diner, and there are no other ways to get recipes in this game. So we don't need to read that tutorial, but we should probably figure out how it is that we cook. The kitchen is where you'll cook recipes. When you use the kitchen, you'll see these 2 choices, which are cook and quit. So you want to choose to cook, and then we'll get the menu with all of our different recipes, and then we just pick what it is that we want to cook. So when you pick something, you'll always get these 3 options available, which are to make a basic recipe, which will make the original basic bare bones version of the recipe. You have the option to make the best recipe, and you have the option to make some alterations. Alterations basically will add certain things to a recipe to make them more effective, and it will alter that recipe permanently unless you go back to just making the basics. So alterations would include, sometimes you can put cheese in a recipe, or sometimes you can add milk or yogurt or an egg or a chestnut or something. Alterations are not always available, and they're different for every single recipe, but they are a good idea to make dishes more effective. So let's read up on what the best recipe entails, because I'm not actually quite sure. Oh, okay, so this will make the dish with the best recipe you've come up with. So the basic will just make the basic recipe with no alterations. The alteration option is to alter the basic recipe, and then you would choose the best recipe option to make the dish with those alterations every single time, which makes sense. So once you've picked the type of recipe that you would like to make, you can then start selecting your ingredients. So you have lots of different options here, so you can use all high quality ingredients, so it would use an S or an A quality item or over a B or a C quality item when available. The biggest ingredients option would use whatever is the largest on the size meter there. You can see on the upper part, you can see that we have quality, size, and freshness. So this one would dictate based upon the size of the item, and similar to that, the freshest ingredient option is going to go by the freshness meter. And then if you want to, you can choose to make it with totally random ingredients. And the random ingredient option just picks a bunch of stuff with absolutely no regard to their quality, size, freshness, etc. After choosing the ingredients and the attributes, you select how many you want to make, and then you're done. And that's pretty much it. The only complicated part of cooking, I think, is getting into alterations. If you're just making a basic recipe, it's not very hard at all. But sometimes making alterations can kind of feel a little bit confusing. And then if there's any other options that you would like to learn more about, you can go back through this tutorial and choose a different option. It's a little bit irritating giving this tutorial because it doesn't actually let you go back and pick each of these options to read about in one go. You have to just pick one and then go forward with the rest of the tutorial and then loop back around. So the alterations will change or add additions to the existing recipe. And this will go a little bit more into detail about this. You can add any materials you have on hand to the existing recipe. However, if you use the wrong ingredients, the dish might be a failure, so you have to be careful. Choose your ingredients and select Make. The top screen will show you what you'll make. Then you can tell if your dish will be a success or a culinary catastrophe. So that's actually good to know. Once you confirm that you want to make the recipe, you can choose how many to make, and then you wait for it and you're done. Cooking can be tricky. Even if the recipe is good, you might fail to make it. Practice with easy dishes at first, then gradually move on to harder dishes. Generally speaking, the more ingredients a dish has, the harder it is to make, which is very true. I think everything else in that tutorial is fairly easy to understand. There's not really anything else that I can think of to really cover. The alterations really is the most complicated part about cooking. Although now it's not going to let me exit out of this tutorial. So that's kind of annoying. I guess I'll just hammer through these. I'm pretty confident I explained the rest of this fairly well. It's a very odd way of giving a tutorial. You think I could just read these individually, but nope, I gotta go around in circles. Alright. The cooking section has been added to your notebook. That's easy. I can just refer back to it if I want to as well, if I forgot anything. So that's about it. Now we have the option and you can see all of the different recipes that we have. And like I said, we're just starting out. We don't have a lot available to us right now. And there's very few things that are actually worth making at this time. A couple of the mushroom recipes, of course, as I've mentioned, for mining are going to be useful, and some of the recipes that we're going to get with eggs are pretty easy as well. I usually go with the grilled mushrooms. This is usually my go-to recipe that I use for mining. So I'm probably going to focus more on mining in the wintertime. I'm going to spend the rest of fall gathering what mushrooms I can and just continuing on finishing up the season. I will probably just play for the next 2 days until we get into the crop festival. I should have an eggplant to enter, and hopefully that goes really well for us and we come out on top. That's it for me. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.